Markets are crashing again. Are we ever going to get an alt season? What is wrong with the industry this time? How many projects are there for how much liquidity, and what the hell's been going on? I've been talking about it in my threads. I've been talking about it all around. Every problem, everywhere. There's no problem bigger than this. I'm just messing. It's a little bit of a Trump impression. But my point is, what has been going on? And everyone feels it. OGs feel it, the new traders feel it, and the meme coiners, other than the guys that are insiders mainly, are feeling it. So what's been happening in the market? Why is no retail involved? Why is the price never going up? What happened with Binance this week? Because do you believe it? Do you not believe it? I'm going to show you what their response was. I'm also going to show you some really cool things, that kind of explain the real reasons why this market is the way it is, so you can educate yourself as to why it is different this cycle. And can't blame one person or another. Kind of have to blame ourselves, right? When Trump coin goes to a top 10 cryptocurrency in the first day that it launches, people are buying $4 million worth of that at a time, which I love Trump. You guys know this. But it does set a weird precedent, I guess, that meme coins are way too focused. We're going to go into that. Not saying meme coins are bad, but I think the volume of them are bad. They create a dot-com bubble in the meme world, kind of. And so if you don't know what that is, I'm going to explain it to you too. So anyways, I think, guys, I went a little bit too long. So this episode is going to be really great. I hope that you'll subscribe, like. If you're new here, great. Nice seeing you. Hope that's going to help you understand this market better. I do videos as well about how to use exchanges, how to actually do risk management, how to do things safely. We do have a link below. You just kind of fill in a couple of the form requirements, and then you would be added to our private group. I also give free, 100% free. All you have to do is just basically be a part of our community, and you get a free trading course that's basically my knowledge to you, so you can get to where I am at if you want to get there. So, and also you'll have access more to me, all these other things. So anyways, all right, so make sure that you like and subscribe. Let's start the video. I'm going to get into all the nitty gritty right now. Here we are. We're going to start with the market, and I'm just going to show one quick thing here. That's Barachain, right? These guys launched low FTV, high valuation. They're over billions of dollars right now. There's going to be an obvious short. If you've seen it at $7, $8, that was an obvious short. This thing's probably going to come up, tap this level, and then go down further. Like most of the market, remember, there's very few outliers this cycle that haven't followed it. And it kind of goes into the whole theory I'm going to try and explain to you as to what is wrong with the market, and are altcoins ever going to come back? And if they are, which ones are going to be the ones you should be focusing on? Okay, so we see an immense amount of indecision in the market on the daily chart for Bitcoin, right? It's running into and now fallen into the cloud. We have a Chiku span, which almost is bearish. It technically would be bearish in the next couple days. We're running into the cloud. We've lost the 100 EMA. We had this bearish TK cross, which could turn around. Like, this could turn around very easily, but there's a lot of caution into the wind. Now, you could go down to your 3-day chart on Bitcoin and go, it's fine, coach. We're really far away from this, from everything. Of course, there's that big CME gap that we could rip to at some point, who knows? But that could also be in the bear market on the way back down. So as long as we hold right now this 91.5 level, I think we're going to be fine. But the weakness in the market, or the indecision I'm talking about, is just doji after doji after doji. This is a doji, this is a doji, this is a doji. Today's turning out to be also potentially another doji, which tells us the market buyers and sellers are basically both not sure where the market's going. And when one starts the move, the next comes in and sells or dumps on them, or shorts the longs, etc. So quite interesting stuff, right? And then we go into Bitcoin itself. All right, so I drew this before, a little while ago, and I said, we have to hold this level. It's kind of the breakout level of the cloud. So we're kind of flirting with the retest of the cloud many times. We tested it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 5th test. If it breaks down, it's going to break down to the CME gap, very likely. If it breaks up, that's very positive. It's going to flag up, and then it's going to rip, right? So there's a reason why everyone has indecision right now. There's a reason why people are not buying very heavily right now. Bitcoin dominance hit my level of alt season. I talked about it. I said it won't go higher than 62, 63. It did for a day, right? But will this lead us to what we were expecting, an alt season? Or is it doom and gloom? Are we screwed, right? A lot of you are feeling that. You're asking yourself, is this market ever going to come back? And even I asked myself that. Let me be really honest with you. This market is different this time. I'm lucky that I focused on very valuable crypto projects so that I didn't get freaking wrecked. But I know a lot of people, I did get wrecked on the other side of things from investments. And, it's because of all the problems in the market. I'm going to be basically lining them up for you one by one. Just want to go through a little more charts. Then I'm explaining to you all the problems with altcoins, the problems with the market. How do we actually fix it? What you should be forcing down the throats of every single project you've invested into that actually can give them a chance to live and thrive. Because the market's smarter now, right? People are smarter. They're not buying the same thing and everyone keeps repeating the same thing, which doesn't work. How do we fix it is what an entrepreneur like myself would be thinking. So let's go look at ETH. ETH went down to this really low level down at like 21. That was the third test. That could be a triple bottom. Now people are losing like a lot of love for ETH and people are losing a lot of love for everything. And things like this, I'm just gonna show you this. This Binance news is crazy. This Binance news is freaking crazy. And why is it crazy? Let me just explain something to you. Someone comes out and posts that on January 1st, they have like 47,000 Bitcoin. They have 216,000 ETH. They have 442,000 Solana, right? They have $3 billion of USDT. Okay, now hear me out. So they come back month 2, February 1st, do the audit again, and people are posting stuff like this. And what do you think the reaction in the market was? And what are we in right now? We're in fear. So when people would see Binance sells billions of dollars of ETH, Bitcoin, and Solana, what is the instant knee-jerk reaction that people are going to have? Holy crap, I gotta sell. Well, what happened really recently in the last couple of days from this type of news? Well, you can kind of see it in the chart. It didn't really respect ETH, USD didn't do anything, but Bitcoin dropped because of it. It almost went to 92. And see what's crazy? We went up so much that if I don't just zoom in, it doesn't even look like a lot. But that candle was from 98 all the way back down to 95. So like these are $3,000 candles. I remember when Bitcoin was $3,000, I wished it would go to 6, you know? That was crazy. So we need to just be patient right here. Okay, so some coins you should be looking at, very US positive, right? So obviously, Cardano advising Trump. It has a chart that kind of look busted, but lots of charts look like that, and it's starting to recover a little bit. Now, this might not happen in the next week or two, but it's very likely that at some point we are going to break out, or we don't break out at all, and this is the bear market. We're almost at that point. So let me just tell you, I've sounded off the alarms only a few times in my career doing this. And I can tell you right now that I would be sounding off the alarms if by, let's say, March 2nd, March 3rd, we haven't started to go up and start breaking above the clouds that you're seeing in ADA here, in Algorand here. And these are all daily charts, right? Aptos is below the cloud. Everything is bearish. Atom's bearish. AVAX is bearish. A0 is bearish. Bitcoin Cash is bearish. Like, BNB's almost kind of leading the way potentially. It's gonna break if it breaks above the cloud, right? But you can clearly see there's very few signs. And Devi was one of the only bullish ones, and now it's breaking down. EGLD is extremely bearish, right? So if you look at everything, other than like a few coins, HBAR is kind of still in the cloud, but technically bearish, right? You're seeing a lot of potentially that the market's not going to go in the way we want it to. So that's why I'm saying we need to see something happen in the next 15 to 30 days. And if we don't see anything by mid-March, we're probably already starting a bear market. Do I believe that? No. Do I think that's a likelihood of happening? Not really yet, but I'm slowly being convinced by just the sheer amount of fear and everyone just dropping off like flies. I know a lot of people got ridiculously wrecked because since FTX, we hadn't had a day like that. I'm just lucky I didn't get caught in that because I teach people to trade with risk management. I got caught in a small trade where it became a bigger trade, but I'm okay to hold that until it turns to a profitable one again. It's not too far away. So, there's a difference between a lot of people, how they trade, how they do things, but ultimately it's all about preserving your capital and keeping risk at a low level, not at a crazy meme coin level. You'll get wrecked heavy and hard. So what are the ones that I bought a bit of? And I bought a bit of it as it came down, was Rune. Because Rune is a real project, making real revenue. And yes, they had a lot of problems with their loans. They figured it out apparently. They've already done the validator node voting. So they'll pay back some of that and they'll start buying back the token. But the business model's still there. And if people use this technology and it works really well, and Binance uses it as well, very likely that's a coin that if you buy now and if it goes much lower, I don't know what's going to send it there. Feels like everyone who sold. And now it has more of an upward trajectory again. So, It's a risk for sure. Things could blow up even more. I just think that they got it in time. And because it's a profitable business making almost $100 million a year, it's very likely that they'll be able to weather the storm through that. And likely they're going to grow in their size of the volumes and actually increase their amounts of revenue per year, right? So if we think about all those different factors, like Rooney is a good project, even though it had a bad problem. And this is why I don't really like chains opening up too many rails of DeFi, which has lending and borrowing. Because it's like, yeah, you can lend your ETH for Solana, but if you lent your Solana for ETH, you'd be wrecked, right? So it's like these types of things you have to think about. And I'm risk averse compared to most people, and I think that's smart. Now, Solana's also technically, even though you don't believe it, bearish. It's underneath the cloud. We had a bearish TK cross. And, we're technically bearish in our Chiku span right here. So I'm looking at this market and being super realistic that even Supra, which I'm a really great project, it's going to drop down more too. And I love these guys. They have great tech. But if the market doesn't actually come back, it's time to preserve some capital so that you can buy tokens back much lower. And it might take a year or two. It might take 3 years all over again. And this is why it's different. I'm going to get into that right now because I think that's the most important part of this video and why a lot of you are watching it. Okay, so time for some real talk, okay? What is wrong with the market? Well, simply, we don't have enough liquidity for the amount of places that the liquidity needs to go. We used to be a pond where when it rained, it got full. But now there's like craters, like there was a war and there's a billion ponds and everyone's trying to fill their pond with water and there's not enough water to fill all these ponds. So you can look at it as cups. You got a bunch of beers. There's not enough beers for amount of cups for all your friends to drink. So you have lack of liquidity. So everyone doesn't get a full beer. That's kind of how the projects are right now. So if you think about it from that analogy, that's where we're at in the market. So you have from 300,000 projects to about 1 million-ish, then into the bear market, we had last cycle. And those gave us the chance to have 100x pumps quite regularly on low FDV, high valuation projects, which was great. We made overnight millionaires all the time. One of the staff that works with me was a good friend, basically a partner now in my companies. She became the fastest millionaire I've ever seen in my life. It took her 3 weeks. She got into 2 projects, Eternity and ShopX, and on paper, she was a millionaire in 3 weeks. It's pretty insane. But the point is, we don't have that this cycle. That's not gonna happen. Now, why is that, right? Because I told you, I'm gonna give you the problems, and then I'm gonna give you the solution, and then what you can do about it. Because ultimately, the most important thing is you need to know what you can do to force the industry to actually listen. Remember, we're community driven in a sense of everything. If you don't have a community in crypto, you don't have a project. So the community are actually quite strong, right? And when there's governance that's supposed to be there, the community can stand up together and say, we want something different. So here's what the problem is again with the other part of it, because I gave you the first half. Before 2026's year end, there is $200 billion of unvested tokens that are going to vest in the crypto market. 200 billion. That's like an 8% of the entire crypto market cap today. So how are all these projects going to survive when there's probably thousands of projects in there? How is everyone going to make money? Where is all this trillions and trillions of dollars going to have to come from for these projects to be successful? Now, am I saying there's not going to be a Google, a Facebook, an Apple? Oh, there's definitely going to be those in crypto. Some of them probably are already existing that haven't got to their echelon that you could call them the same level, but they're coming. And so when you think about that, the market cycle is different because if you had focused mostly on mainly projects that had revenue streams already from before, they were older projects, they have a lot of money, they have a high market cap. If you focused on liquidity, so where the cups were still full, you could make more money that way this cycle. Basically holding Bitcoin was better than doing 99.99% of the other stuff. And then there's 0.001 guy who are meme guys who made it, overnight millionaires and great bots and snipers. So that's another thing that killed projects, right? Sniper bots, MEV bots, just sucking all the liquidity, all the hard-earned money of everyone in the project goes to like these MEV bots, which honestly, fair game, that's how it works. But this is where the problems start, right? Then we're like, I need to get into every project. One of them is going to 100x. So you start investing in hundreds of projects, which everyone does the spray and pray, except this cycle, if you sprayed and prayed, you're sprayed and wrecked, okay? So there's some outliers. Super had a crazy good launch. There's Portal, there's others. There's Nibby. They had great launches, gave everyone chances to make money. Entangle is another one. So it's not like we lost this entire cycle. We actually did really well, but we did really well if we were selective. There's a lot of money lost, and everyone's now trying to launch a token. And instead of before last cycle, you regretted launching and then selling them right away. You'd regret it. You sit there like, man, what have I done wrong with my life? You would see tokens you'd sell on launch go up like 50x higher than when you sold it, just because you wanted to make that 10x, you know? And this is something that happened last cycle so much that the OGs this cycle get freaking wrecked because they think I have to hold, or their friends launch a meme coin. And it's a wave of just greed that's killing our industry that needs to be washed out. Because if this greed continues to exist, and we saw how Pump Fund went when they put on video, which is disgusting, this is the problem. Now, how do we solve the problem? Well, from me being a tokenomics expert in this space and understanding and making a lot of the designing and the models, here's the thing that I think is what the solution is to the problem that even you at home can impact. And it's this. When you see meme coins go up in value very quickly, ask yourself why. Why do meme coins go up faster than real projects? No VCs, no one to dump on them, fair game, everyone's getting the price, and all the tokens are on the market, usually, if it's done fairly. So they're like, what? No one's gonna dump on me. They get rugged all the time, but in the mind of them and everyone else, if it's good people, good team, they're not gonna get rugged, right? They're not gonna have all their money go away. It's gonna go up in value. And, you know, this is the problem. Why are we not focusing on real solutions to problems? Like, you stop focusing on the next funny meme. We just look stupid, right? And the thing is it's fun, and I get that, and you can make money, but it's really a casino. And who's gonna sit there promoting that constantly day in and day out, like, go gamble, go gamble. It's not really a good thing to do. And I get the trenches, if you're good at it, oh man, you're grinding, bro, great. But my goal here is to get us back to where we solve the problem of liquidity. How we do this? Simple. I have a project. I'm vesting tokens for another 12 months. Every single month, or every single day if it's linear, token keeps dropping and dropping. Why is that? You don't have enough freaking users, obviously. And number two, most importantly, you don't have real revenue. So people are getting tokens, you're not buying it back as a part of your flywheel. Your token's gonna dump forever until there's vesting complete. So what's the solution? Vest all these freaking tokens, let the shitty projects die a quicker death without actually making you, once you don't believe in it, have to wait for 12 more months to hopefully get $500 more out of a $100,000 investment. Because that's basically what's happening day in and day out. If you fix that and everyone else has other tokens and you have a real company with real revenue, with a real utility and solves a problem, holy crap. Now everyone's going and using your product and actually you're making money for a real project, doing real things, solving real problems. And guess what happens to those companies? They turn from the Googles to the Googles and the Facebooks to the Facebooks, and that's how it works. So we need all of us to generally not be bucket shop traders. And bucket shop traders are the guys who trade penny stocks. That's basically what everyone's turned into. We need to focus back on, I can be happy with a 10x over 4 years on $20,000 because that's $200,000 and I couldn't make that in the stock market. And that would be going safe with it pretty much, with just good quality projects. The market cap of the crypto market goes to $40 trillion. Anything you invest into that has a real product service and does something like Link, for example, is used almost by everybody. Those are the things that are going to actually increase, where you're safely going to hold it, like an Amazon stock running from the bottom to the top, like a Tesla stock running from the bottom to the top, because you know there's value behind it. All right, so guys, do me a favor, share this to other people. Let me know what you think. Did it actually help you in the thinking of what's the problem with this crypto space and how can we potentially solve it by just making everyone auto invest all the tokens, let everyone have fair game, let people buy the tokens off the market, not being scared other people are going to dump on them because they got them cheaper. Solve this issue and let the actual product and company shine through if it's going to shine through. It's a crazy thought, I know. We're in crypto. Like, yeah, okay, coach. Like, no one read a white paper either. But it's kind of time where due diligence and everything else is going to start to matter a lot more. It's also going to be a time where you have to be very, very patient and find the real right investments to get into. And the market's going to mature and the liquidity is going to go into big caps. And you're going to be able to make a lot of money in this crypto market. And it may not be this year. It may not be this cycle. We may not have more cycle. Let's be honest here. There's like a 90% chance that we're going to go up. but there's still 10% chance that this is the start of the bear market. So don't get crazy. Don't use emotion. Look at the market and see what it's telling you. Right now, it's telling us that we're bearish. On the weekly, we're not bearish yet, so we're okay. On the 3-day, we're not bearish yet, so we're okay. But if we have a few more weeks of that, it's not going to start looking very good. That's what you need to think about. Hey guys, don't forget that you can follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. Twitter, specifically X, is where a lot of my major posts go out, where I have threads and I have ideas and I try to think about, how I can help people think and understand this market better. So make sure you're following there. I'm also going to be doing more engagement. So as you'll see, I'll have a lot of polls and things that we're going to ask you that you want to learn about or you want to know about my opinion, so we can start giving you a little bit more engagement with myself. I've noticed that it's really hard sometimes. So this is what our team is actually starting to engage into, so we can be more a part of what your learning experience and experience in crypto is in general, as well as giving you some laughs. Now, thinking about laughs, wait 1 second here. How many of you guys would love to see me go bomba clarion tour in some dirty skunt scammer project? Yeah, detective with coaches on our way, man. So I'm just saying, we could get right into this. I'm telling you, mate, it's gonna be amazing. I have many voices. You'll think I have what's this called? This is the multiple personality. Igor came here, he said, I think coach have many personality, but he can just do many comment things like this. I don't know how to do it, and I changed my voice just on the fly. It's another personality. All right, but all in serious, we're gonna make sure that we roast projects to death, and I wanna know which ones you want me to roast.